live coverage of Expo North as it happens. This is Expo North Live.
He's enjoyed previous incarnations as a superstar DJ and a games designer. Now he's in conflict zones. Why? We'll find out from Charles Kriel. Now, when I say he's in conflict zones, I mean, of course, that you're promoting free press in conflict zones.
That's exactly right. I'm in conflict most of the time. That's a totally different story.
Well, this is it. How do you go from these kind of jobs, as DJ, into that? I mean, was there a light bulb moment for you?
Well, I've been a broadcaster all of my life since I was about 16 years old. I got very lucky when I was young and got into radio really quickly. After you do that for too long, you get a little bit bored with what you're doing. I got a call from a friend of mine who's a television producer recently, and a friend of a friend asked him, do you know anybody who would travel to this war zone and work with some journalists and help them try to go digital? And he's like, I know exactly the guy who will do that. And so they gave me a ring, and my answer was immediately yes, and how much money do I have to pay you to do it? So what's happened is over the years, over the past 2 or 3 years, I've worked my way up by going to worse and worse places. So about a year ago, I ended up in Iraq working on building a radio station for women behind ISIS front lines. But when I was first asked to go to Iraq, my immediate answer was no, and can't we do it on Skype? Wouldn't do I really need to go there?
Yeah.
And they, but I wasn't kidding. I said, look, I've worked with organizations out in the field for so long. I know what their problem is. They don't have any money. And I know what I'm going to recommend they do. I'm going to say you need to get your stories, and you need to get them out to the diaspora community, and you need to get them out to young activists, and those people want to send you money. And I know what they're going to say when I recommend they do that. They're going to say, Charles, we don't know how to do it. And that's sure enough what happened. And I decided to come back to the UK and build the solution. So now we're building a news platform that's driven by charities. It's a news and fundraising platform, and it's called Whitefolk.
And I was going to ask, how is Lightful funded, and how easy is it to fund for Lightful?
Well, Lightful's a private company, but we're working with charities specifically. And our reason for being is to try to make the whole system more efficient, to try to make sure that more donors' money gets in the hands of the people that they want to help. Right now, with charities, a lot of the money that you donate just never ever makes it to where you want it to go. Unfortunately, it goes to charity mugging agencies or phone banks and so on. And so we want to kind of close that connection, but we also want people to have a relationship with the charities that they're donating to. Right now, so if you give money to a charity, you only hear from them again when they want more money. We'd like there to be a conversation there. Like if I am helping women in Iraq with the radio station for Yazidis, I'd like to have a conversation. I'd like to know what's going on. I want to know that radio station is getting built. I want to know when they're helping refugees. So we want to connect people with causes that they really care about. And we think that's really important.
Are radio stations the best medium in conflict zones?
They can be. I mean, interestingly, the two best ways to reach people in conflict zones are via radio, because someone's more likely to have a radio than anything else, and then by cell phone. So people see refugees in camps and they're outraged that they have cell phones. It's like, how can they have cell phones? It's ridiculous. Actually, that cell phone is a lifeline to the rest of the world. And the people that you see in refugee camps, they're very well educated. They've been professors, they're doctors, they're engineers, and now they're there and they're trapped. And they need to be connected to the world so that they can get back to a real life.
We've been talking about Lightful at Expo North Live, but of course you are a man with many hats. As we said, you've been a DJ, a games designer, and you're also now in the throes of a novel that is being released as we speak this week.
Well, that's right. So the name of the book is The Lobster Boy and the Fat Lady's Daughter, and it's actually a thriller that takes place on the circus. I was born on the circus. My parents and my grandparents were circus performers, and so I am always writing about it and always doing work about it, because I think I'm just trying to remember home. That's the thing about growing up on the circus. There's no home to ever go back to, so you have to evoke it in your mind.
So what publishers should we be looking out for?
Fahrenheit Press is publishing it. So they're a small startup, mean, young and hungry press, and very rock and roll attitude.
Well,
That's a
anything
perfect fit.
we've learned that we should feed the press, provided they're for good causes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed, Charles.
All right, thanks a lot.
You